Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan,
I'm Michael.
And I'm Helena.
and for this Patreon voted episode, we watched Rat Race.
Hey now, you're an old star, get your show
Don't spoil the ending.
Oh,
Yeah, don't spoil that this
Don't
is the movie
spoil
from 2001 with, with
twist.
All Star in it.
You know the twist ending.
The twist ending where Smash Mouth are
It's
in
got
it.
Smash Mouth in it.
to be fair, I thought it was just quite a good Smash Mouth impersonator at the start.
I thought it was Guy Fieri. We should also explain, we might be a bit delusional today in this recording because it is, number one, very hot. It's all very,
Yes,
very warm.
very hot.
And Helena's hungover, so
I'm not hungover. I'm post-hungover. I'm just not fully recovered.
yeah, you've got the hangover.
Yeah. The flat is not destroyed is like a strong word.
Yeah.
I just it's not clean or tidy.
Yeah, that's fine.
And it is so humid because it's been like 23 degrees all day and now it is raining
Yeah.
really heavily. Which means I have to have my window shut, otherwise it would be really loud.
Oh, no.
It's so humid because it's humid because Helena lives in a city and me and Dan live by the sea.
Yeah, it's
But-
also,
No.
it was humid because I accidentally flooded work the other day and the carpet's still damp.
Oh no. Okay.
We had a good time.
Anyway, the patrons voted for us to talk about Rat Race. So...
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? Not as I keep confusing it in my head with the film we have already watched, which is Mousetrap.
Mouse
Hunt.
Yeah.
Mouse Hunt.
Mouse Hunt and Rat
not
Race
to be
slightly different.
confused with the board game that I keep thinking. Mouse Hunt.
I remember watching this. I don't know if it was. I think it might have been rented from Blockbuster or if it was just on TV not long after it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was obsessed with this movie when, like, around the time. I do not know how many times I've seen this, but it's been at least 10 years or so since I last have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fully same. Like I think we had it recorded on a video.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know who in my house loved this film so much. They were like, "It's on, record it." But we did. I saw this film so many times, and I haven't seen it since I was like 14-ish.
Yeah.
There's been a while. Yeah, I love this film.
See, I'd definitely seen it a couple of times. I think I'd seen it once all the way through, maybe at a friend's house, maybe on DVD, something like that. And then I definitely caught half of it on like Film 4 or Channel 4, something like that, with ads. And
Oh yeah, this is a big Film 4 energy
Yeah,
movie.
This is.
it's long.
It is. It's longer
It's
than
only
it
just
should
over an hour and a half.
be. It feels long.
Isn't it longer than that?
No, it's at 108 minutes. So
I think it's because there's so many different stories.
there's so
being
many
told.
little bits that goes into it, which
Right.
yeah. So the premise is that there's all like
It's
these
an
few
hour and
different groups of
52
people.
minutes.
It feels like it's over 2 hours easily.
But yeah, there's these few different groups of people, and they're all in a casino, and they end up winning this golden chip to be sent up to the owner of the casino,
Yep.
who is John Cleese,
John Cleese.
and
John Cleese with dentures.
Yep. And he tells them that there is $2 million. Yeah, so they're in Vegas. There's $2 million in Silver City in Texas, I believe.
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Mexico.
Oh, yeah, Silver City, New Mexico. And he's like, first one to get there wins the $2 million. Here's
Yeah.
the code. Go.
And here's the key. Not code. You're thinking
It's
two
the
and
key.
up.
Yeah, they get a key each.
Here's
Yeah,
the
because
key.
that comes up later.
Key is important to the story.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's go through like the bundle of characters because I like these kinds of. I don't like this about this film, but I like this kind of film where they're like, here's a group of weird, disconnected individuals all doing the same thing. Kinda
Yeah,
like that.
because then you can get all the wacky different hijinks that suit the different characters
Yes.
in
And
all their different ways.
this film somehow includes 3 Academy Award winners.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is
So,
incredible.
The first character we're introduced to is played by Breckin Meyer, who I feel like was
Yeah.
really big at the time. He wasn't in Evolution. That was David Duchovny.
This
Anyway.
is going to test ours. Can we remember number one character names and also actor names?
I have most of it written down.
Ooh,
So
I
there's
have
him.
IMDb open.
Oh, I
Cool.
was just going to go off the top of my
So
head.
there's him.
I
He
could name, like,
he's a guy who's like he likes to play things safe. He doesn't really gamble. He's very straight edge.
He's a lawyer.
Yeah, he's a lawyer.
He's like a junior lawyer.
He's on a stag do, but he doesn't really want to get involved with it all.
Yeah.
And he just does the he literally goes onto one slot machine because everyone's like, "Come on, you need to just break the rules for once in your life." There's Templeton, who's Cuba Gooding Jr.,
Mhm.
and he is a
Referee.
who completely fucked up a
He made
game
a
like
bad
2 weeks
call.
ago.
He made a bad
Yeah.
call.
He flipped a coin and couldn't remember which side of the coin was which or something.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
single person in this film tries to kill him. It's wild
Yes.
how
They
serious people
hate
take
him
that.
because everyone lost money
Yeah.
because of his
It's
call.
weird.
Yeah. Then you've got Seth Green and his brother, who I don't know his brother's name.
Nope.
And the reason I had a quick look, the reason his brother isn't on any of the promotional material.
Oh, this is yeah.
Yeah, his agent tried to get him top billing
Yeah.
Right.
and fucked up so badly that he wasn't on anything. But he's got a tongue piercing and you can't understand what he's
Yeah,
saying.
the
half
joke
the
around
time.
Yeah.
the gag is he's
Yeah.
got an infected tongue piercing.
Yeah. You've got Whoopi Goldberg and her daughter, who she I think gave
Estranged
away
daughter?
at birth. Yeah,
Yeah.
estranged
Yeah,
daughter.
estranged, adopted out daughter.
Yeah. There's the family of four, who I can't remember any of the
Yeah.
actors, but they're great.
Yep.
And then there is the Italian
Hmm.
tourist, Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
There's some more characters, but they come up throughout the story.
Yeah.
Um,
So who's your like favorite? I skipped over all of the scenes with Rowan Atkinson. I'm not joking. I genuinely
see,
like,
I remember
I
him
can't
being a
deal
lot
with this.
funnier in it when I first watched it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he's not in it quite as much. Although, like, because he has narcolepsy, so he falls asleep through
that's
half
his
of it.
gag. All of these characters
Yeah.
have their own individual gag going on,
Yeah,
and very few of them are funny. Some of them are.
some of them I like. Yeah, really liked,
Yeah.
but others
The-
funny.
So they all get bought. They all get bought into that casino, into the thing, and they're
Yeah.
told they're told you win 2 million, which I know it's a lot of money, but it sounds like such a small amount for someone to be winning now.
Yeah, like 20 odd years ago, 2 million was a lot more.
Like if someone offered it and someone was like, you could win this, I'd be like, oh, cool. But it would need, if they did it now, it would need to be way higher than 2 million.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, money is like always. What age is a film like that, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
My favourite bit, and actually kind of the only bit of this film that I enjoyed, is the John Cleese eccentric gamblers
That's the
group.
best.
Yeah,
scene-
all of them
scene in
behind the
film.
scenes, just like, yeah, cause
So the way that this is funded is that the owner of the casino, John Cleese's character,
Yeah.
is fronting these winnings, but these other men are making
Yeah,
bets
he's-
all about various things, including basically who's going to win,
Yeah, it's
who's
his.
going to get the money first.
It's his group of weird billionaires.
And they also bet on lots of other things throughout, because obviously this
Yeah.
is quite a long. They sort of say that it's just sort of slightly more exciting than horse racing.
Yeah, the whole thing is they have too much money and they're all kind of just bored and looking for
Yes.
like the next interesting thing to do, which makes me think that like after this they're gonna go on and start actually hunting people.
Yeah.
Because this is a step away from having an island somewhere and hunting people.
Oh yeah.
Which
Depends
we
how
know
much money
billionaires
they
do.
lose at the
We
end.
know billionaires do that. Not that much money.
No.
We'll get to that.
They're- yeah,
that
they're
ending I wanted
billionaires,
to
yeah.
talk about.
Yeah,
But yeah, so his group of weird billionaires throughout the film, it cuts back to them doing weird bets. Whenever it cuts back, there's a weird bet in the background or something going on.
yeah.
Best part of the film.
That
100%.
bit's great. I feel like instead of trying to explain every single thread,
No,
maybe we
no.
should like.
So,
What
There's
was
sort
your
of a bunch of
favourite?
them go to the airport,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and a couple of them were, and like the airport,
It gets shut
the-
down because of the two brothers because they
the two brothers
break
like
the thing.
break a
Yeah.
a radar thing.
their whole bit is really good. I like the two brothers' story.
Yeah.
I don't know what like them because they're both con men making. They're just con men, really.
They're not,
Yeah.
they're not like con men in
They're
that
not
they're
good
good. They're just kind of
They're
out
they're
for
closer
trying
to
to.
scam artists than con men.
Yeah,
they're
'cause they
just
put the glass
in for an
down,
easy buck,
Funny
and they're like
funny,
they're just
though.
trying to get this. There's I think what sums them up is that they're going around betting using a Feed the Homeless charity box,
Yeah.
and they're stuffing the whatever it is,
it's
like dollar
kinda-
coins into the slot machines.
The scam
Yeah.
the best the one thing this film does really well is it does all of the character introductions really well. Like
Yes,
you fully
yeah.
understand who everyone is by their like 5-minute open, because they all get like a 5 minutes at the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get a little bit of each. But yeah, I like the two sort of plot lines that I like. So when I was younger, I think my favorite plot line was obviously the Rowan Atkinson one with the guy with the heart and everything.
Yeah.
But I like the I like Brecken when he meets Amy Smart, who's a pilot.
Yes,
And
that was
no,
my
no,
favourite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
that's
one
the
else
ones.
can fly, but she's a helicopter pilot, so she can
completely
still
different
fly.
system.
Yeah. And then as they're flying, she goes to check in on her boyfriend, and he's been cheating, and they like essentially run them down in a helicopter.
Tries to kill them both. She
Yeah,
tries to
Yeah.
she's
There is
insane.
Yeah, she goes from like
surprise-
really smart, sexy kind of pilot to
Yeah.
batshit insane
Yeah,
bunny
Right.
boiler very quickly.
Admit it's like he's the most for the beginning of the film. He's like the most normal. I don't do anything wrong. He doesn't even
Yeah,
want to be
he's-
involved in the game. He throws the key
No.
away. He's like, "This is stupid." While everyone's like
Yeah.
fighting down the stairwell.
He really isn't interested until he realizes actually
He could.
no one else
he's the
can
only
fly.
one that's got an out. The other,
Yeah.
the only one that's actually going to be able to get there because all the planes are grounded, but the helicopter isn't.
Yeah. So he lies to the pilot and says, "My mother's dying."
No, it's his sister's really ill.
No, his
Yeah, he says
sister's
she's
shark
got
bite
she's got a shark bite, and they're like
in a
in
landlocked
Silver
City.
City.
in-
It's like,
in
oh
New
yeah. But yeah, I do really like that sort of plot line where because does she throw? I think she throws a bucket of paint out onto the car or something at one
she
point.
throws like
and-
tools and buckets.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to kill him.
yeah,
100%.
I think she's trying. I thought she was just trying to destroy the car.
She's definitely. She says
there's the
that,
bit where
she's-
she tries to like she just
Yeah.
destroys the pool in their backyard
Yeah.
with the helicopter. So yeah, I like that bit. Like the other bit that I really enjoyed, just because I remember, like probably when I was younger, I didn't quite get the setup that much. Is when the family are like driving and the girl's like, "A Barbie museum, can we stop?" And the boy's like, "Oh, I'll stop anywhere. I don't care. Let us just stop." And it's just a fucking Nazi museum.
Yep.
It's like, that bit was
That
good.
whole bit, I think, like now I'm a bit older. I appreciate that they're making a lot of like we can't do that. We're Jewish jokes from like the
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
So I don't think I really understood
The
why
importance-
I didn't really understand that they were Jewish. I think as
Yeah.
a kid, or even though it is actually very very obvious.
Yeah.
It's not like a secret. I just wasn't super aware of.
No.
I think just I had friends that were Jewish at school, but they were English.
Mm.
It just hadn't occurred to me that they'd be Jewish in America for whatever reason.
Yeah, their story's great because
But
Yeah.
I love the build up, like the setup in that, where it's like it's got everything from like the lipstick on the seat, on the steering wheel, and everything.
Yeah.
And they steal Hitler's their van's broken down because they're all driving like maniacs. Now
Yeah.
that the flights
Oh,
are
the brothers
cancelled.
slit their tires. I think the two
Oh,
brothers
okay.
drive past and slit their tires, and
Yeah.
so they steal Hitler's car.
yes, yeah. So yeah, they're all getting like because the family don't know. Like the key part of their thing is the family don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
They
No, they know where they're going. They
There's
just don't know why.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
dad
he
has
said that
lied
he's
to
got
the
a
rest
job
of the
interview or
family.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to pick up ink.
Yeah, but yeah, they steal Hitler's car, which is brilliant, and then they're just very happy that they've nicked Hitler's car.
Yeah.
Is it creepy that he's letting the kid play the harmonica?
Well, he's not happy about it. He's
Yeah.
like,
No.
yeah, stop rubbing your mouth up against it. He's like, you're literally driving. The kid, like, rightfully so, was like, you're driving Hitler's car.
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah,
He's like, I'm not putting my lips
yeah,
against
he does
it.
have a good point, he's not licking
Mum,
the
wife ends up
dashboard.
putting on the lipstick that she finds in the glove box, and
Yeah.
the daughter's putting on the sunglasses.
Yeah, that's a good scene.
And then he plays with the cigarette lighter, burns his middle finger, and starts waving it in the air to obviously like get some cool air on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swearing at I think it's supposed to be a lesbian biker
Yeah,
and her lesbian biker gang.
Yep.
Who then run them off the road.
They end up driving into like a veterans like thing as well.
Yeah,
And-
it's like a World War
Veterans
II
Day. Yeah.
Veterans Day.
Yeah.
And he looks like Hitler, and he's just driving through. Obviously, like the Hitler's car, it's not just like a Ford Fiat or whatever. It's got like
no, it's like one of Hitler's
It's got little Nazi flags. It's got
Yeah.
a Nazi, like, where instead of a Mercedes, like, thing, it's got another little swastika.
Yeah.
And he looks like Hitler.
Mm-hmm. And then
Yeah, because he's he's got something on his top lip as well. I can't remember how
Like,
that
I think it's the
happens.
lipstick.
So
Oh, yeah,
she's wearing Ava Braun's lipstick. He gets some on his hand.
Yeah.
And that's like a bit before the actual.
Yeah.
This
So
one-
there's
Yeah.
actually some setup and payoff.
Yeah,
rather than
a
it
lot
just
of
being
it
one
is-
long gag.
Yeah,
It's-
there's a lot
it's-
of different bits
Yeah.
all intertwined together.
This film is really good, and like this film overall isn't good. This film
No.
overall is a bit like, it's very 2000s. It's very meh.
Yeah.
The film individually, like the separate pieces, are actually really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the
Like-
set pieces are really fun and enjoyable, but there's just a lot of scenes that I just did not give a shit about.
Yeah, it's
And I found it
paced
really hard to,
well.
like, pay attention and care. There's too many people in this rat race.
Yeah, you can get rid of like 3 of them, and it'll be
Yeah,
fine.
it'd be fine.
There's
There's because Whoopi Goldberg and her daughter end up getting they're
Brilliant,
given
by the way.
bad directions, and then they end up being in the Lightning 2, which they're testing to be the world's fastest car.
we skip
No,
the
no,
important
you've
bit.
skipped the best
skipped
part, which
the-
is they
the
crash
squirrels
their
bit,
car.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
So they
Back a
meet
little
the racist lady
Ooh,
from
skipping
the
a little bit.
American Horror Story.
Oh, Kathy Bates.
Kathy
yeah.
Bates,
Yeah.
Oscar
Who is-
winner Kathy Bates. She is the third
Yes.
Oscar winner in this film.
She's an eccentric squirrel dresser-upper and seller.
Yeah, she's a squirrel owner.
And they get directions from her, but they don't buy any squirrels, even though she's quite pushy with the sale.
Yep.
And they go down a hill. They cry, and at every turn, as they lose control of their car, it just says, "You should have bought a squirrel." And then they land in a pile of other cars that have got dead people
Been
in.
for a while.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been killed in this world. A lot of
Like, the reason they're
strangers.
okay is because their car doesn't crash into the ground; it crashes into a bunch of other cars.
This film, there's a lot of strangers in this world just trying
Yeah.
to kill these people
Yes.
for no real reason.
So someone else dies because they're not going to get their heart as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Because Rowan Atkinson, after waking up, gets hit by a guy who's driving a human heart to. I think it's near Silver City. It's like Houston.
Yeah,
or
it's
somewhere.
like just past it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It said an American location. I'm like, that's probably in that
Yeah.
direction.
It might
I
be
don't know.
nearby.
I don't know
yeah.
if that's also a joke.
The most ridiculous. The bit that I remember making me laugh the most when I was a kid was when Rowan Atkinson is trying to escape from him after he's trying to like kill him to take his heart,
Hmm.
and like a high-speed train goes past, and he just jumps and grabs on into the middle of it.
Yep.
And for some reason, that was the funniest bit when I was younger. I don't know why.
I thought I'd misremembered it and that he died in that bit.
No.
Oh,
You're
Because
thinking
I
of
thought that I thought he
Spider-Man.
was sad because he was like, God damn, he's dead, and I didn't even get his heart.
Oh,
it would
right.
ruin the heart, to be honest. That would ruin.
being
a
hit
good
by a
heart.
high-speed train.
But he
Yeah.
just kind of slots in.
Yeah.
Yeah, this film is full of shenanigans. This film
Yeah.
is shenanigan from start to end.
Yep.
And some of it's really like well tied in and funny. Some of it quite boring. Most
I
of-
did like it's a bit before this, but the family again. I think the family is like my favourite. I think they had
Yeah.
the best bits when he's forcing his daughter to shit out the window,
Yeah.
and she's just screaming that she hates him.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the police pull him over, and he's like,
Yeah, and he's-
"How
he just-
fast was I going?"
You can just see the cop in the background like wiping his window.
Yeah, it's great.
I like the brothers end up getting their key stolen because they're talking about it really loudly while getting a key cut so they can go their separate ways.
Yeah, they want to go. They realize that
Yeah.
if they went 2 different ways, they'd have
they
2
double
double
their
chances
chances.
of getting.
Yeah,
They don't have what they go. Yeah, so
But-
they get the key cut
yeah.
copied. The key guy.
They just get blanks back.
What do you call
Yeah.
a key guy who makes keys?
Someone who works at Timpson's.
A key worker.
So the key guy kills them. What? Completely
Might as
different
well.
film. It would have been another attempt. Try to steal the key. I kind of lost track of that one for a bit. I think I
Yeah,
like stopped.
I like the bit where they're driving along and they like see these girls in another
Yeah.
car, and the guy with the piercing is talking to this girl who has other piercings, and they're like having a piercing off,
Yeah.
and then she just lifts up her shirt
Uh,
and her nipples are like chained together.
Well, no, because he goes. He shows his tongue. She shows her
Yeah.
tongue that's pierced.
Yeah,
She shows her earrings. He shows his nipple ring. and then she shows that her nipples are pierced, and the
Yeah.
guys drive off the road.
Yes, and do they nearly hit a cow? I think there's a cow hanging
There is
from
a
a hot
cow.
air balloon for
There's
some
so much.
reason.
Who?
I sort of lost track of who was in the hot air balloon. Was it the guy
Yeah.
who stole
It
the
was
key?
the guy
Yeah.
who stole the key. Yeah.
Yes,
can't
because
remember
at
when.
one point
Yeah.
they are in the brothers are in a monster truck.
Yes. Oh yeah, because they
Oh, yeah, they
drive off
crash-
the
they crash
road
the-
and
they crash
into the
the-
monster truck
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
then
And
they
they're
get
at the
hit.
end of the line of
Yeah.
death kind of
I
thing.
love that slow-mo shot of them trying to get out the car as quick as possible before the
Hmm.
monster truck lands on it and
Yeah.
crushes the car.
Yeah. This film's a.
Yeah.
It's
and
quite
the
entertaining.
referee ends up getting dropped in the desert in the middle of nowhere by a
someone
taxi
else is
driver.
just willing to kill him.
Yeah.
100% is just like, I'm going to take you out to the desert and you'll
Yeah.
die.
He's
here.
like, I lost 20 grand because of you.
Yeah.
And so he ends up stealing the clothes of a bus driver and gets in a tour bus full of people cosplaying as I Love Lucy.
Yep. They're going to an I Love Lucy
Yeah,
convention.
And they end up flooding the toilet and almost. One of them puts out a cigarette on someone's hair, so they
Such
try and
a-
put it in the toilet.
Well,
It's just
it,
more hijinks.
that whole thing of him on the bus is so weird because
Yeah.
he's not an actual bus driver. He shouldn't care about what the people are doing on the bus, and yet he's still like making them abide by bus rules.
Yeah.
He's like, no smoking on here. Why does he care?
I think he's just trying to keep up appearances.
But no one
Yeah.
else was paying attention. They
Maybe
were
he's got asthma.
talking to each other. So yeah, she throws it out the window. It goes back, sets another Lucy, I Love Lucy's hair on fire, and they flood the
They
bus.
end up putting out they put it out with someone's coat that then catches fire. And they shove that down the toilet.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then
it floods the toilet, and there's bubbles
soap.
in there for some reason.
yeah, soap falls into the thing.
Yeah.
It's just like a series of just awful events happening to all these people.
And then they
Yeah.
they crash a little while later and or before they get a flat tire and then they kind of wreck it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he starts crying.
I think
because
there might have been some more I Love Lucy references, but those went over my head.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a clue.
it did do the 2000s man dressed as a woman, possibly a trans person joke.
Yes, there's
Did
a.
that? Gotta have one.
I was
in there.
waiting for because I was like, there hasn't been a weird transsexual joke yet,
Yeah.
and it's that time, and then there it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There hasn't been
Yeah.
a gay joke or yeah, there it is.
And there's the other problematic thing of after Whoopi Goldberg and her daughter get out of the fastest car and they're sort of shaking and walking around and they're
Yeah.
near a bus of people with mental health issues and they're like, come on guys, back on the bus. They're like, yeah, we came on a rocket car.
Yeah.
Sure you did.
Ugh.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't. I don't think that was super offensive because they didn't. They didn't
It
show
was-
any
there was no
like
joke
what the
there.
other the mentally
Yeah.
ill people doing anything particularly.
Yeah.
Like these are just like adults with learning disabilities,
Yeah.
and it's that's
Like there was no butt of the joke.
Yeah,
It was funny because they were
it was
Like-
the treatment of these people with mental health issues and the fact
Yeah.
that these people don't seem to notice that there's
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
extra
there's
people.
two more
Yeah.
people
That
dressed
they've
completely
gained.
differently.
They've gained two is a bit of a. Does that mean that they also lost two?
Maybe the world fastest car, the bullet car thing is that seems brilliant. So it's the guy at the front explaining it, and it's the joke of which is brilliant. They're climbing into the car behind him, and he's answering questions.
Yeah.
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 It's so
He's like,
good.
any questions? How'd you turn it on?
Yeah.
Well, you press this.
They're really lucky that was set up to go out into the middle of nowhere and not,
Yeah.
into something.
Yeah, well, they were planning on it going quite far and fast.
Yeah.
And then
I like that they still get really excited because they break the land speed record,
Yeah.
even though the driver wasn't in it.
Yeah,
imagine
because this
that
was.
law, that rule being written down. Like, they
Yeah.
broke a world record. Who did? These two women we never caught.
Yeah. Where I'm in Coventry, where I'm from, they've got the motor museum and they've got the SSC there, which is the fastest car, and they have the simulator thing.
Wow.
And I've been on that a couple of times. That's pretty fun. Before that, they used to have. I can't remember. I don't think it's actually called Thunder 2. It was whatever was Lightning 2 or whatever. It was whatever was the actual one before that. Oh, I think it was Thrust 2.
This is
Like
really,
the
this is,
Scottish chicken. Anyway,
this is really interesting. Can you tell us some more
Yeah.
about car history,
Sure.
please?
cool. You go in this thing and it makes you feel like you're going really fast.
How does it do it, Dan? No.
I don't know. I was inside it. It's one of them G4 simulator things.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Can't wait to go when you invite me up to Coventry next time.
Yeah, it'd be-
Oh wait,
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
nice to be invited up whenever, really.
All right, we'll go after the wedding.
no.
I think Helen might be a bit busy. I think
Yeah, I've booked a honeymoon now.
Yeah, your honeymoon's on the world's fastest
Yeah,
car
I'm
simulator.
not going. To be fair, I'm like, I'm not going to Coventry for my honeymoon. Guess where
Going
I'm
to the
going?
Coventry.
Rutland.
you're going to the Coventry Motoring Museum to go on the world's fastest car simulator.
I mean, Jim would probably be up for that. I think he'd be upset if that was it.
Cool, we're going home now.
It's all right, it's not too far on the train. So anyway, they all eventually get to the locker about the same time.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
all congregate at the same time.
So,
Did
Miss
we?
Oh.
I feel like we've
is
forgotten
first.
someone.
Yeah.
I feel
Oh
like
yes, there's
we've
the
forgotten people.
guy, John Cleese's assistant, is sent
Yes.
there because they're all getting close,
Yes.
and
It-
so he goes there to see who.
Before
and-
that, one of the bets that the weird billionaires are doing in the hotel is the assistant orders a prostitute, sex worker, to come to the hotel. He explains like the weirdest thing. He's like, we do these things. You shave my back, you do this, but and
buttocks.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
It was like in a hot tub full
Yeah.
of jelly. There wasn't any actual sex involved. It was like I want
It
to
it
trim your
wasn't jelly.
toenails and you shave my buttocks.
it wasn't jelly. It was Pepto Bismol.
Pepto Bismol, that's the one.
It was a hot tub full of jacuzzi full of Pepto Bismol. I clip your toenails, you shave my buttocks. How much will it cost? And then when she says $3,000, all of the billionaires jump out and go, "Who had $3,000?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's brilliant because they were all like tucked away hiding.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, this guy had 2,800. He's closest. He wins.
Yeah. Oh, it's those little bits are so good.
Yeah, those are the bits that I actually remembered as well. I
I-
didn't really remember much of the actual rat race.
I also fully bet they filmed like a lot more and just didn't use them.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, well, because the film's so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The another one is kind of dumb one is they've got a load of women clinging to like curtains
Yeah,
in the
and
background.
it's like who's gonna let go?
Drop past.
Uh,
Fucking billionaires, man.
yeah.
I think like John Cleese has realised that like whilst his amazing rat race is going to be like an interesting
He's got
bet,
to fill time.
there's a lot of downtime.
And
Yeah,
the
none of
billionaires have
the
too much
none of the
money
people
to...
are watching it. It's only us at home that are watching the rat race
Yeah.
happen.
They're watching.
they-
They're watching like the keys that have the keys are like.
Oh yeah, they've got trackers in
geocoded,
it. Yeah,
tracked.
yeah.
But the billionaires have nothing else to do with their money. There was no Twitter around to buy at the time.
They can't invest in NFTs.
Topical
No.
or cryptocurrencies.
So yeah, the assistant goes to watch everyone get to the locker because they all get there at the same time.
Yeah.
And they get there and they open it and it's empty and the assistant and the sex worker have like sort of run off with the money.
Yeah.
And so the whole group of them have to then chase them down and they end up at a Smash Mouth concert.
They steal a bus. They steal a bus.
Yes, they're on the
It's
bus.
like a
yeah.
tour guide
Yeah.
bus.
Yeah. And
the-
Smash
then,
Mouth are
like,
doing
no.
a
The key, we forgot another
Yeah.
shenanigan. The key guy comes back on his hot air balloon and starts to fight the
Which
assistant.
now has a cow attached to it.
Yeah,
yeah,
go pick it
yeah.
up.
The
That's so
cow's attached to it from a bit earlier, I
Yeah.
guess.
funny. I can't remember when. The
It's a
cow came
mess.
up.
The last
Yeah.
like that last bit of the race is such a mess because it is
Yeah.
all these. It's supposed to be like the convergence of all the stories, but it's not.
It just,
Yeah.
It's not very convincing, and like some of it's funny. Like they're all stuck behind the dude on the horse,
Yeah,
and they're like trying to go past him, but obviously someone's not overtaking, and that's quite funny. Because he's the referee, because he finally gets there and he ends up like
he's on a horse.
just stealing a horse to
Yeah.
get there.
They all just sort of what's about them arriving is they all kind of just stumble into it.
Yeah.
Like none of them, very few of them actually aim to end up there. They all just kind of accidentally stumbled into it.
Yeah, and they're like,
Which is
oh shit,
great.
we're actually really
Yeah,
close.
it's like, oh wow, we're
Yeah.
actually close.
So yeah, the bus drives through into a charity concert for. It was the same charity that the brothers were like pretending to collect for earlier in the movie.
I'm gonna pretend that I noticed that.
Well, I've only noticed because you said about them using the charity
Yeah,
bucket.
so it was Feed the Homeless.
Feed
Right.
the Earth charity.
And then this
event.
is like Feed the Children
yeah,
Yeah,
or Feed the Earth or something. Yeah.
yeah, and So they crash through it, and Smash Mouth is like, "Oh, what have you got there?" And they're like $2 million, and they just assume that it's being donated to them.
Well, no,
And then-
they said on the bus
Yeah.
we had a talk and we're gonna share it.
Yes, yeah,
And then the
Yeah.
crowd goes wild and they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, because they don't know what's happening.
yeah,
Yeah, because they don't know they're at they just think they're at a rock concert. They don't.
yeah. They
realise
don't
they're
know
at, like,
that they're
Rock
donor.
concert is a fuck.
a Smash
It's
Mouth
a
concert.
Smash Mouth concert, which is okay.
And you know he plays
at
one
best.
song.
And then he
Yes.
gets upset about it and threatens the
Yeah.
audience, which he did once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great video on YouTube. Look it up. It's wonderful.
But for real, name one other
Yeah.
Smash Mouth song.
Walking on the sun.
I was going to say Walking on the Sun.
Yeah.
But that's
that
because
one.
we listen to that kind of music.
Yeah. So they do end up giving away the money, but Seth Green's being selfish and doesn't want to at first. But
no,
then they're like,
yes, you skipped the important bit. This film
Yeah.
takes a wild emotional swing near the
Yeah.
end. It really tries to go with this is actually a meaningful emotional movie. When the group are like, we're not giving away, no, this because there's got like the big number on the wall that there says 2
Yeah.
million, which only had like $500 on it. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
it
Yeah,
didn't
it
have
had like
much on it.
$6,000 or something in it, and
Yeah.
then it goes up to like 2 million and 6,000, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Shit, what? No, that's not what
Yeah.
we meant."
And then they bring on kids, and the kids are
Yeah.
like, this money will be great. I can't eat anything in days.
Yeah. So then they
It's takes such a wild emotional because none of this film is emotional up to this point. It's just funny,
Yeah.
like an
Yeah.
attempt at being funny. And then it's just like, oh, the ending's we're gonna get you at the ending. Emotional heartstrings are starving children,
Yeah.
and
And so the the guy with the tongue piercing gives it away because he sees the girl with all the other piercings in the crowd, and then she comes up to him.
and she says, it's so good that you're
yeah.
giving away all his money. He doesn't want to give away the money. He just,
No.
but the rest of them kind of just happily give the money away.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, fuck it, why not? And then
Yeah.
Seth Green's like, no, I don't want to. And then they're like, dude, come on.
And
And then-
again, the second wild
Yeah.
emotional swing, which is the guy, his brother with the tongue piercing says, our mum up in heaven, what would she do? It's like, where the fuck did this come from?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Their backstory is never mentioned.
During this, John Cleese and all the other like billionaires are like at the side of the concert. So
Yes.
after they donate
Which-
it, and then
which
they're like,
leads-
"Oh, this guy over here is gonna match any donation."
Yeah, him and all of his
and they get it on
friends.
live TV as well.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
they introduce him, they say his
have
name.
to,
He kind
yeah.
of doesn't have a choice,
Yeah, him and his
it-
associates, so all of his
it
weird
shoots up
billionaire
to-
friends.
and they make like a funny dig about how they don't have anything to it's not like they're gonna just gamble it away.
Yeah. Yeah. And it ends up going up, and they get like up to 6 million really quickly, and they
Which-
start playing All Star.
Again, like, all the billionaires are like freaking out. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
I feel
gonna
like
get...
we missed the final funny bit of the film, which
Was
was
it?
on the flight. They get because
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
the airport's now sorted out, so flights are going back. The
the assistants
all
run
the
away, so
all the
like,
they're
we're
all
gonna-
they're all flying on the plane, but the plane journey looks absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And then one guy pukes, and then they level off the plane, and that was a bet.
Yep, is who's going to puke first.
Who was going to puke first, which is
Great.
just brilliant.
But yeah, at the end when they're like the money's going up, all the billionaires are like freaking out.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it doesn't go up that much.
No.
But,
to
like,
them
Yeah,
they're
it's
considering like they
billionaires.
bet like 2 million each on like the
Yeah.
actual outcome.
Like
Yeah.
they're billionaires. 12 million isn't that. I think it goes up to like 12 million. It isn't
Yeah.
that much for them.
No.
Like they can
exactly.
shrug that off as like a PR move, but they're like, "Oh, we're gonna be broke." Like you're described as
I mean,
being
that's what
billionaires.
billionaires do. They could use their money
No.
for good, but instead they're selfish arseholes.
No, billionaires give away 12 million is nothing to them. They give it
Yeah.
away. They get it back
Yeah.
in tax, but they give it away for PR. 12
Yeah.
million a 12 million charitable donation is a billionaire PR move.
Yeah.
They do it all the
exactly.
time because it is such an insignificant amount of money to them.
Yep.
Hey, welcome to Hey, I loved that socialist politics podcast. So this film,
I found it really frustrating, and it was a shame because I remembered parts of it really well and really enjoyed those parts.
yeah,
But so much of this film I didn't find funny. I found it really sexist,
yeah,
and I found it really quite like boring and long-winded. And I don't mean long-winded in like, oh, the plot's a bit extreme, because obviously like, yes,
It's
that's the
split up
premise.
into,
That's fine.
like,
I knew
yeah.
what that was
Yeah.
going in,
Yeah.
but I think it hasn't aged well at all.
yeah.
And it was really quite grating. Like what a waste of Rowan Atkinson this film is as well.
Is it?
Yeah, he really doesn't do too much. He
It's
just
Like he's
Is
has
not given a
narcolepsy
good
and-
character, and like I don't know why he had to be Italian, but he's not really given any
Can
good.
we-
Like his lines are like, oh, he's foreign.
Can
Yeah.
we,
When he
can
could
we,
do much better delivery than that if, like,
Can we
yeah,
just...
he was given.
There are
I know you don't like him.
No,
but-
no. You say what a waste of Rowan Atkinson. There are 3 Oscar-winning actors at the time. There are 3 Oscar-winning actors in this film, and you're like, oh, it's Rowan Atkinson is the one that got wasted. Not
well, I
the
guess Thingy had like
not
the
Kathy
squirrel,
Bates.
crazy squirrel lady
Kathy
has
Bates.
like a great time in this film and is clearly enjoying her like.
Yeah.
And
like
then who are
2
the other
minutes.
two?
Whoopi
It's-
Goldberg, I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg and
Cuba Gooding Jr.
yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr. I
So
think they're the 3 Oscar winners.
yeah, I don't know. Like Whoopi Goldberg seemed to have fun in her character, but I think their
Whoopi
plot was like
Goldberg.
one of the least interesting.
Yeah,
Like the land speed record thing was kind of funny, but apart from that, it was like
they had the best
Eh.
interactions.
Yeah.
Those two. The daughter's introduction was brilliant.
I like
Just
when they're
after
introducing
playing.
each other as well, and the disappointment in the daughter's face when Whoopi Goldberg says that she came because her psychic said she should,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
not because she wanted to, and like that disappointment of
Yeah.
oh, this is only going to be for personal gain, like
Yeah.
yeah.
that you can see how sad. She
Again,
was. So it's
weirdly
nice
deep
them-
for this film.
Yeah, an emotional
it's nice
thing.
that they bond. Yeah,
And also I do like that the psychic predicted money problems.
yeah.
So, how did this film hold up to you guys? That's the question I want to ask because
Yeah, not well.
Oh, what the premise of the podcast
Yes.
that we always don't do.
yes. Like, how did this film? Because I feel like this is one of those films where it is based on how well it held up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
It's really sexist. I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but like
What do you mean?
it's anti like the women in this sort of, you know, it's either kind of funny that they are strong and powerful.
Yep.
Like she's made out to be a bit like the daughter, Whoopi
Yeah.
Goldberg's daughter's made out to be sort of, you know, a bit cutthroat and soulless for being a successful businesswoman.
She is in the
Um,
first 10 minutes, and then she's never like that again.
And then they never
Yeah.
and they never bring it up again, and it's then like it really bothered me about like the pilot, because it's like, oh wow, you're a pilot, and it's like, oh, he's got to use that to make like a snazzy one liner, which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But then she like immediately disintegrates into this jealous girlfriend stereotype
hmm
that will ruin her career over a man who's cheating on her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably go to prison. They're all going to prison, right? Like after.
Yeah,
all
and
this
then
is
there's
done,
the
they're all-
stereotype of like the heart, like the Jewish mum and the husband that don't really seem to actually enjoy each other's company, and he
Yeah.
like, you know, he drugs his family.
Yeah, that scene's fucked.
Yeah.
We forgot that. We didn't talk about that scene, but yeah, he gives his family sleeping pills so he can sneak them.
Yeah, because he finally tells them the truth and is like, "Fine, we'll go back." Like,
Yeah, they're not
let's
bothered
stop.
about the 2 million because they kind of, at this point, I think they think it's a scam because,
Yeah.
Obviously.
you know, obviously, and that's sort of why he didn't tell them in the first place. And then, yeah, just the use of like the female bikers. He like calls them a dyke,
Yeah.
which obviously hasn't aged well, even though it's like a joke because he says it by accident. But he's like one
Yeah.
of those ones where it's like a what's his name? Not Pavlov, not Schrodinger. What's the other person? Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Where he says dyke instead of bike, and it's just like, oh come on, mate.
Yeah.
And it's just not funny, and it just hasn't aged well for me at all. And I found it really just irritating to see. It's like, it's okay if like there's one sort of stereotype, but it was literally all
Yeah.
like very anti-female, and like the bloody bus with the
Yep.
women on it.
Yeah.
Like I know that that's like a joke, but it was very, very frustrating, and like they didn't know between them how to like fix the bus at all, but they couldn't, like they were just messing about, and then sadly watching it going down the like they managed to roll the wheel down the hill and they're all like going, oh no, and like yeah, it's very it like the whole film for me was just really quite irritating.
Yeah, I think my
There's
like,
also there's no female billionaires apparently.
No. Well, I mean, there's
Yeah, but
not
that's
many in
fairly
real
accurate at
life.
that point.
Yeah, like that's pretty
Um,
accurate.
But you know, it's make believe. They could have been.
They could have had
Yeah.
at least one. But then I feel like, yeah, this film really doesn't hold up well. And I think what bothers me so much about it is there's so good bits in it. There's like really
Yeah,
good
there's
little.
some really snappy writing. There's
Yeah.
some really snappy lines, but it's
Yeah.
just overshadowed by like just this
It's
really
shoved
aged
together
and
in a weird way. Like they can
yeah,
get
it's really
rid of-
poor. I feel like it's poorly edited. Like the way it snaps between characters isn't particularly like interesting or dynamic.
I think that's because
There's too many people.
Let's fix this film. Fuck it. How do we fix this film? Because there's clearly like a good film in here somewhere. How do we get? Because I think like
I've got an idea.
I
but
don't care if you
first.
like this film, Dan. You can. We've
No,
decided
fine.
this is a bad film.
Well,
Majority
in that
rule.
case, the way I would fix this, which might work, but I don't
Can
know,
you say more Rowan Atkins?
no,
Okay.
is make it into
Musical?
instead of a film, have it as like a mini series online, and
No.
have each individual
Oh
story.
god, no, not
No,
making
that's
it
a
longer
sad
is
no.
never the answer.
I think
No,
it
not
only-
making it longer, but cutting everyone's stories just into their own, so you just follow them all like
No,
individually.
I think this film, like Dan, you're wrong. No,
Fair enough.
no, I think this film only works because it intercuts them. I think if you
Yeah.
put them all, if you watch these all individually, they'll be really fucking boring.
Yeah, and they wouldn't work for the bits where they do sort of cross over.
Yeah,
See, I reckon make it more like Minnesotan crime drama Fargo.
okay. Where are we
Just-
going with this?
So funny,
Mhm.
very dark, plenty
Okay.
of murder.
A bit more.
Ah, so the
sinister.
key guy does kill the brothers.
Yes, and it's one of those ones where I think, oh, these people sure do have plot armor, and then they don't.
So like dark comedy. You wanted to go down
Yes.
the route of like dark comedy.
You just want Mr. Bean to get splattered by a train, don't you?
Yeah, and yeah, the others get shanked by a
Squirrel Lady.
squirrel. Yeah, squirrel lady murders them, and they all actually. It's really not that many make it to
They
the
all
end.
die in like
Yeah.
the most horrific way. But then like the one that shouldn't have got there gets that kind of thing.
One that you think died, but they show up as a
Yeah, one
twist
could
ending.
actually just be gravely injured,
Yeah.
Yeah, and get there
Um,
and win the 2 million, and then don't have to.
or
donate
get
it.
there and actually there's no 2 million. It's
Yeah.
already been stolen by someone else in the other
like,
way. Like,
they
that,
just-
that was fine. That was like a necessary twist.
Or
like
just
that.
there never was 2 million, and it's
Yeah.
just billionaires fucking around with people. That's really sinister. This is
Actually,
like...
there's just a gun in there, and it's like
it's got
As
one
you-
bullet.
Yeah.
It's attached to the lock mechanism, so as you open it, it shoots you in the face.
This is
oh yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
this film is. I mean, the original film, not your like weird Saw
Twisted
version.
version.
Your Saw edition.
Yeah,
of
rat
Batman.
trap is what it was.
Um, I think that this film is Squid Game light. This film is non-violent.
What exactly?
Squid
And
Game.
people die in that one.
Yeah, it's kind of a main part of the story of Squid Game, I think. I would fix this film. You guys weren't really complicated. Cut some of the characters out.
Yeah.
And give the time to, because like the problem is like, the problem I think is all of the characters have too little time.
Yeah,
It cuts between them too
definitely.
quickly. I think
Yeah.
get rid of Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on every film. That's how to improve every film that Rowan Atkinson's in. Get rid of Rowan Atkinson. Get rid of Cuba Gooding
Well-
Jr. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah.
not needed.
All of the solo ones, I feel like you could get rid of. Apart from, I like the one that immediately he teams up with the pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. I feel like
but the
out of all
ones that are just
characters,
on their
he's the one that
own, like
deserved
the
to
high,
win.
the whole time, is
Yeah.
just
Yeah, because I think they're too isolated. They are
Superfluous,
too
yeah.
isolated. And they don't have like a dynamic going through. I think
Yeah.
the dynamic between the families great. The dynamic between the mother and daughter is great. And I think they should use the dynamic between the mother and daughter more.
yeah.
Yeah,
Brothers are great.
yeah.
Brothers are
The
most-
family dynamics tend to be the ones that work the most. Yeah,
The brothers dynamic is great. And I think that would actually be good if it was three families, three like
Yeah.
people that are
Yeah.
related, and one guy on his own. It's actually a really interesting like
yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it does suffer for there just being so many. And I get that's the point of like a rat race is that there's loads and
You-
loads of people. You know, everyone's
You can do it with less
trying to
and-
get it, but
and,
it
like,
yeah, it
give each
really
other more
suffers
time.
for it because it's
It's
Yeah.
spread too thin.
from a time when we weren't better at doing long films,
Yeah, I think
and maybe
If-
we're just used to really well cut long films that are loads of action and
no, I
But-
I think it's
God,
just
it
too
was just
too
such a
many
slog.
characters, and I think they should interact more on the way.
yeah, there's
Because-
so little. I mean,
yeah.
apart from like the collateral damage of like shutting down the airport.
Yeah, like the opening is the best bit because they're interacting with each other. As soon as they
Yeah.
get on the road, they're all pretty
And
much
they do
alike.
have chemistry, like
Yeah.
when they're talking to each other in the hotel, like trying to work out. And like the bit I really enjoyed is like them all trying to decide to do it
Yeah.
by waiting for the lift and like getting antsier and antsier, and then like deciding one by one, I'm just gonna take the stairs instead while I go away and don't involve myself in this.
Yeah.
And then they all like race down the stairs. Like that
Yeah.
bit was funny.
Also, I think like they could use the keys more and have like who has
Yeah.
the key, have we lost the key, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
sabotage. Like no one actually tries.
Yeah.
Like apart from the tire slashing, there's not a lot of
Yeah.
sabotage.
Yeah. What if
They-
there was only one key?
If they swapped people every now and then, if like one of the brothers got stuck with one of the like either the mother or the daughter, and they accidentally swapped friends
Yeah.
for a little bit, and they're just kind of like, well, we kind of have to help each other.
Yeah.
Like that would have been great. Like have them more like
And some teaming
interacting
up
on the
and
way.
some betrayal.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the ending makes more because the ending is like, I think the ending's great when they're like, we have to give it away because
Yeah.
whoever it goes to, it will feel a bit shit because it's like, did they
Yeah.
kind of deserve it? It's kind of, I think giving it away is the best move. The way that they decided to share it at the end when they were like, on the bus, we decided to share it. You kind of just skipped over a lot of story.
Yeah, it's like, well, how long was that bus journey?
Yeah, have the development be they all learn that actually maybe they should share it, and they all
Yeah.
come by like being forced to interact with each other.
Yeah, they realize that each of them has a actual reason for needing the money, and
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it could be like, It's a Wonderful Life. You know, the bit where it was like, okay, we've got how much money do you actually need to withdraw from the bank at the moment when they do a run on the bank, and it's like, actually, I need
Yeah,
$7.50 to pay for like ... and some groceries or whatever.
yeah, and I think, but
And they could be like, well, I need this. I mean, apart from the fact that obviously they're all going to go to prison for a very long time for the
yeah,
various crimes committed along the way.
because
It's like, yeah, if they could work out like, okay, well, I really need I don't know, I'm starting a business, I need a pizza truck.
Yeah.
Like my aim was to do ...
especially if that comes into like how they help each other along the way.
Maybe trainee
Yeah.
pilot, and she wants to get a pilot's license, and it's yeah.
Yeah, but the ending then being like they've decided throughout the film they've decided that they actually should probably help each other, especially if they all decide that as like separate groups and then they come together
Yeah.
and like we should share it all at once. That's like
Yeah.
yeah,
very 2000s comedy,
Mm.
and then
Wholesome.
they're forced to give it away. If you get that like emotional
they
burst
all
of
kind
like,
of- yeah.
hey, and then it's like, no, we're not going to give it. And you can essentially have the ending be the same.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
yeah.
out of 10.
Our version or their
Our version, 10 out of 10.
Our
Let's
version,
get
yeah,
this
10 out of 10.
funded.
Yeah,
Next
Get it
Patreon
made.
goal.
yeah. Patreon goal will remake Rat Race.
Rat Race
Rat
2.
Race was
Rat
good.
harder.
Yeah,
Old
Rat
version.
Race 2, fewer rats.
Old version, like 4 out of 10. There's some good
2 rats.
pieces.
Oh, I was going to give it a 3 for
There's
the
some
3 scenes I enjoyed.
good pieces. What are the 3 scenes? Oh, yeah.
damn. I feel like I've gone very high compared to you guys.
I think the
Well, that's the
actual-
power of nostalgia. I think I genuinely, like, I'd heard of this film and been like, yeah, I think I enjoyed that film, but I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it loads, and I didn't remember much of it, so,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. It gets more honest. There's no nostalgia rose tint going on for me.
I think this this podcast has ruined my ability to feel nostalgia because
we did it.
I can't feel it. I watch these films that I remember loving them. I don't. I feel
Oh, man.
emotionally disconnected from this film.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
No, we know how you feel about the Black Cauldron. It's fine.
Anyway,
So,
Dan,
yeah,
let us have it.
Dan.
Yeah, no, I like.
Hmm?
Yeah, it's definitely the nostalgia. But I was gonna give this a 7. I enjoyed
you
it.
soppy
still.
what's it.
Yeah, I had fun. I
Did
like.
the
I enjoyed
hard
it.
emotional swing get you?
I'm
Is that-
almost
I
more
know
like
it's a lot of-
impressed.
yeah,
I'm
I know
more
it's
impressed
a lot
that you
of
enjoyed it.
nostalgia and- yeah, like I enjoyed more of it than I didn't enjoy. If that makes
I must
sense.
admit,
Yeah.
I found almost my weak nostalgia annoying because I know that I knew and I remembered the Live Aid thing, or not Live Aid, but it basically
Yeah.
was Live Aid. I remember them giving it all away at the end, which made it all feel so very fucking pointless. So it was like, I'll get on with
Yeah.
it. You're not even going to keep it.
Yeah, so out of 10, I'll give this 7
yeah,
out of 10
spoilers.
pierced nipples. It was
Ooh.
the cow.
I don't think you know how.
How many nipples
Let's
do
not-
cows have?
Let's not go.
I don't know.
It was
let's
the
not go into
squirrels.
it, Let's not go into it.
Yeah,
not
how many,
correct,
how
but-
many, how many dead people in a pile of squirrels
How
would you
many,
give?
how many people has Kathy Bates killed in this film?
Probably at least 2 a car.
Yeah,
Misery,
and then
misery
like,
but
AOL
instead of a
stuff.
baseball bat, she gets squirrels to like chew his tendons.
Oh,
Oh god, she's trained these squirrels to
Oh,
kill.
no, that made me feel really ill. That legit made me feel sick.
Okay, but we'll
On that note,
let's wrap this up before Michael throws up. So, I have been Dan.
I have been Michael.
And I've been Helena.
You can find this podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Hilton Pod. That's at HILTM Pod. We're on Discord as well. And we're also on Patreon.
Yeah.
This episode was actually voted for by the people on Patreon. We each chose a movie.
And if
We could have watched a better one.
we could have. If we make 2 million on Patreon, we're going to gather a load of people in a casino. And we're going to send them on a
Maybe we
little
could get our
journey.
Patreons.
Yeah, everyone
We
who gives to
can.
the franchise
No,
ender
I
thing.
think randomers being sent out
Yeah.
on a and we can all watch it because we can live stream it now because it's
Yeah, exactly.
2022.
We can put it on Twitch, and then that'll be some Patreon bonus content. So yeah, donate
Yeah.
2 million.
And
and we'll-
can do
We'll do a rat
race.
race, live rat race too.
This time, less Smash Mouth.
No more Smash Mouth.
Only Smash Mouth. All songs, just not All Star.
The ending credits, except it's at the end of the end credits, and you get the first line. That's it.
Huh.
Some